Well, what about second breakfast? Here with me are...
My name is Mr. SneakyMans, and twitch.tv/Mr. SneakyMans.
Chicken nuggets too. The spelling's weird, so we'll just have to link it.
Yeah, it'll be the link for that will be down in the description. I'll put both the Twitch channels in the description, so feel free to check that out. So, this is the first episode of our new show where we talk about anything and everything, with today's topics being video games. So, Chicken Nugs, if you want to jump right into the Game Awards, go ahead, get her started.
Yeah, I'm very interested.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this was like, it had to have been 2 days ago, so it would have been like a Friday or something. But I think you guys are going to be surprised with the Game of the Year.
Oh, gosh.
So, I'm going to give you the list of the 6. You're going to tell me who you think it is.
Okay.
The first one is Animal Crossing.
Oh, God. Please
I love Animal Crossing. I don't know about you, but I love Animal Crossing. I think it's cute, and it's got a lot of following. I mean, they were even doing, like, political shit with it.
I was going to say, that is one thing that I will say. I did see about that a little bit in the news, that there was actually a woman over in China who was using her Animal Crossing account as an outlet for her political beliefs in their country. And it got taken down by Animal Crossing, and she got in some serious trouble with her government. Like, that's messed up.
Yeah, Zach can build a big, huge Shrek monument in him and not get in trouble.
Yeah, go ahead, check out that link. Links in the description. To the Shrek, man.
All right.
Okay, so we got Animal Crossing. You said the Final Fantasy remakes in there?
Yeah, Final Fantasy remakes in there. Ghost of Tsushima. I haven't played Hades, but I really, really want to. I was talking about like their art style is like amazing.
Yeah, they do have a very unique art style. I'm almost thinking, I don't know. That's
because
a good list.
I thought Hades is like got huge following right now, and they're super giant games. So I forget who else. Yeah, they did Bastion. I really like Bastion's art style. Have you guys played Bastion at all?
I have not.
When
you said Bastion, immediately the first thing that popped into my head was Overwatch, Blizzard, which is stupid.
Yeah, I would have thought Overwatch as well, but I don't play Overwatch either.
It's a cutesy art style like that.
It's sort of like a cartoony-esque sort of.
Yeah,
it's
it's like an adventure. It's like an event, like Zelda.
Like Zelda. Okay, cool. Like the newer Zelda games. The three-dimensional ones, obviously not the...
No, this one's a little blocky because it's 2011, so...
Okay.
That's fair.
Okay.
Okay,
all right,
so...
what else we got?
Yep.
And then Doom Eternal.
Okay.
Classic.
Alex played that one.
Absolute classic.
Yeah, I actually just recently bought that.
The Doomslayer was my handle on literally everything before I switched to Mr. SneakyMans. So
that's awesome.
Doom has a very special place in my heart. Doom guy will always have a very special place in my heart.
That's his Minecraft handle.
Nice. That is my
awesome.
Minecraft handle.
And then Last of Us 2. I started playing that and I love it.
Man, okay.
I've heard so many good things about it, but I was never a Last of Us player. Like I never got into the first one. I've heard great things about it.
So who do you think it is out of those 6? What one stands out to you that you've heard good things about?
My heart wants to say Doom, but I know that's not the case.
Man,
my head is saying Ghost of Tsushima. Maybe?
Yeah. My thought would be Ghost of Tsushima. That game is absolutely beautiful, and like even on my PS4, not even a PS4 Pro, the game is absolutely beautiful, and it's so much fun.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's a good challenge.
The storyline, the character development. Yeah, it really is. There's a lot of content for the money that you pay for that game.
Yeah.
So you guys are Ghost of Tsushima. I would have thought it was that or Hades. I was thinking Hades actually. It's not.
Wait,
it's The Last of Us.
Is it? It is The Last of Us.
Oh wow. Okay.
Of course, it's the game that I have literally no experience with.
Yep.
Like,
it won quite a bit. It won. Where is it? Best Adventure. I'm pretty sure, or something like that. Yeah, Best Action Adventure. Best score in music, Zach and Alex?
Oh, it won best narrative too.
Oh wow!
Well,
Wow.
what do you think was the best score in music out of
Tsushima.
Doom, Hades, Final Fantasy?
Oh,
Tsushima's
man.
not on there.
Tsushima's not even on there.
Ooh,
And Last of Us.
that's a close one though, because Doom has a fire soundtrack, but Final Fantasy has a absolutely flawless soundtrack, especially because a lot of the songs, at least to my knowledge, are the remakes of the songs from the original. It's got to be Final Fantasy.
It is.
It's got to be Final.
Damn,
Yeah, it's got to be
nice.
Final Fantasy. That's such a like when that game first came out, when it first dropped on PlayStation 4, and I heard about it. I got really excited and really depressed at the same time because it's like I've been a PC gamer now for a little over a year. And I sold my PlayStation. So I couldn't play it. So I have had to watch in spirit watching people play this game, and it just looks so flawless. And again, a lot of the songs are the remastered versions of the songs from the original one that I remember playing as a kid. And it was badass back then. It's still badass now. Like there's no two cents about it.
Original on my actually I bought it on my Switch recently. And it still holds up.
I was gonna say that, and not a lot of people are into Mick Gordon and 8-string death metal. You know, that's not deathcore is not the most popular song genre of music.
A few Game Awards ago, they had some sort of death metal play at it, and it's just like a bunch of Japanese men in the audience with just like a blank face, like.
I'm sorry, there's just not a lot of market for don't get me wrong, I listen to, play, and enjoy deathcore, death metal. I like those heavy riffs. I like those real genty 8-string licks that you can get going on, but it's just not a popular genre right now. That's what I'm saying. Not to mention the nostalgia effect that you get from having songs from the original Final Fantasy track. It just makes sense. It does definitely make sense to me.
Well, so Doom in itself is like a fast-paced shooter, so that kind of music goes with it.
Mm-hmm.
But there's also a game out right now. I forget what it's called. It's like FPSF or something.
Huh. You know what I can't say that I know what you're talking about.
But it's got a crap ton of metal music in it. But I'll send it to you later.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a lot like Doom, except it's level based. So you just clear a level and then you clear a next level and you get as far as you can.
So Hades got best action.
Yeah, as it should.
Really?
I thought it was gonna win more.
Yeah, I haven't seen too much about it.
What do you think the best multiplayer is?
Best multiplayer out of what choices?
Valorant, Fall Guys, Call of Duty, Among Us, and Animal Crossing.
I'd say Among Us.
It's either Fall Guys or Among Us.
Yeah,
it's either Fall Guys or
Among Us popularity just blew up. I mean, the game's so much fun with a bunch of people.
The thing that amazes me about that too is that it still hasn't died.
Yeah,
well,
everyone is still
on mobile
infatuated with Among Us.
That's what's good. That's where it hit its market, is having it. You can play it on your iPad.
Yeah, you can literally play it from anywhere. That is true.
Yeah.
It is free. It is free to an extent.
And I mean, it's only like $3 on Steam, or 3 or 5, something like that. So it's not really bad.
It won best mobile game too.
It won best mobile. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. There really aren't a whole lot of mobile games out there that are. I mean, what else is really out there? You've got Fortnite, which was super popular and then died really quick whenever people found out. Hey,
for mobile games, they had Call of Duty Mobile, Genshin Impact. I heard Genshin Impact was good.
I've heard phenomenal things about Genshin Impact.
I have Genshin Impact on my note, and it's actually a lot of fun. Yeah, I was very surprised with the playability of the game for being a mobile game, because I'm not a mobile gamer at all.
What, you guys don't have phones?
No. Do you?
Oh gosh, I was just thinking maybe they should create a Diablo game specifically for mobile.
Diablo 4. Diablo 4 coming out soon, guys.
Oh,
I cannot wait.
Yeah, 3 was a blast.
They did a few trailers there. So they did Fortnite's Master Chief release. God.
Hold on. Did you just...
Yes.
Did Epic really just insult my favorite game series of all time like that? Did they really bring Master Chief from Halo?
I'm going to go with yes.
Well, you know what they're going to do too later on? And the Walking Dead characters are going to be in there.
Epic, stop! You've ruined Marvel. You've ruined so many other good series. Leave Halo alone. Leave Bungie be. Leave Bungie alone. Oh, wow, that just popped in my head.
That was exactly what I was thinking too, so it's all good.
That's so bad, though. I am so utterly and like just disgusted that that's even a thing. Like Fortnite should have died.
Oh, after them and the NFL like were in bed together, I was just like, oh, do we need sports people running around with guns? Like
it's like they're
Pretty
literally
terrifying.
they are trying to market to every possible audience that they can get to get the game back online because it's not making money anymore.
Yeah, I don't like the new. Well, I don't know how long it's been since you guys have played it, but I played a little bit with JP and Liv. We played when the Stark buildings and stuff started coming out.
Yeah, I've played a little bit into the Marvel
Overpowered.
universe.
Yeah, I played just the other day with some friends.
There's
plays
no
every day.
there's no balance in the game. It's legitimately luck based, like as most battle royales are. So I guess that's not really a critique of the game. It's more or less just a mechanic that, like I said, all battle royales have. I mean, you go look at games like Apex or Warzone, that broken ass shithole of a game that Activision thought that they could put out. It's all the same. Like it's legitimately luck based, and right place, right time. Like.
Yep.
You talking about putting 100 people on a large, almost sandbox-esque map and giving them random weapon allocations. Like, it's just...
Like, not a lot of people are making money right now because Vin Diesel's going to be in the new Ark.
Yeah,
Ark. Like
2.
Ark Survival?
Ark 2 Survival.
Really?
Maybe re-evolved. I don't. How does that even work? I saw a bunch of comments that were like, "Oh wow, are we gonna get a ride Vin Diesel in fucking Ark 2?"
God.
And like, as someone
Good
who's
God.
played a couple 100 hours worth of Ark, I mean, if they don't fix the issues that are in the original game and they just kind of port that over to the second one, I'm still gonna buy it. I'm still gonna put a couple 100 hours into it, but it's a bad game. It's so bad. The mechanics are just awful and it's so glitchy, but it's so much fun because you ride on dinosaurs.
That's what it's got going for it.
The dinosaur element, man, it's
Well,
amazing.
the only other thing that I would have to say about Ark in a whole, yeah, it's really glitchy. Yeah, it's had a lot of bugs. It has its fair share of issues. It's basically a direct cut, copy, paste of Rust, just with dinosaurs.
And Rust was good.
Rust was a phenomenal game.
Yeah.
Rust was ahead of its time when it came out. Like, that game was, if I'm not mistaken, one of the first to introduce the offline raid mechanic
Really?
into a survival game. Don't quote me on that. I'm not 100% sure. That I would have to look that up. But
Pretty true, because Rust has
fair.
been around. Well, yeah, even in alpha, probably. Yeah, for sure.
yeah, it's been around for quite a long time. And the fact that Rust is still a very popular game nowadays really holds true to its actual value as a game from when it came out. The thing that I think where Ark falls the flattest is that it's just too too repetitive, and that's kind of where a lot of survival games fall flat.
Right.
At least in my opinion. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm a huge Minecraft fan. I love Minecraft.
Oh yeah.
I played Minecraft forever. I remember having it on my PlayStation 4 back when I had that. I had it on my Xbox. I have it on my PC now.
Yep.
Like, it is a great game series, and like a lot of survival games are really kind of cut, copy, paste. There's not really a lot that you can differ from as far as sort of like the formula for a good survival game. Take for example what's that new one that just came out? It's like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
I know. Is it Stranded?
Get me on this. Yes.
Yeah.
Stranded.
I want to say it's Stranded
yeah.
because you're like walking through and you're tiny and everything just looks massive and.
No,
you're literally talking about fighting backyard bugs, backyard bugs. Like you fighting ants and aphids.
Grounded.
Yes. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
I was like, Stranded is that Stranded Deep is that one where you're in a boat,
which makes sense.
Like Raft.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then that's kind of like, you know, again, those two games are incredibly similar, other than the way that they're presented visually. Like, you know, it's pretty cut copy paste as far as that goes, and I feel like Ark has such a unique ability to be able to branch away from that formula and create something really special, but they're not taking advantage of it, on top of the fact that they're not really listening to the community.
Yeah. No, they're really bad at, like, for the longest time, when you're fighting a boss, there's no way to, like, fight a boss and have your dinosaurs do something and then you're doing something else. The most effective way to fight a boss is to be sitting on top of a dinosaur and left clicking on the boss. That's it. The guns in it, they're fine, but they're nowhere near the level of, like, you just ride one T-Rex and you bite, and that's more damage than you can output at all as a survivor. Like, it's just useless. Like, I don't know. It's definitely a ton of fun. Like, don't get me wrong. Like I said, I've spent a couple $100 with one of my buddies in it, just restarting and everything. It's fun. It's fun to tame dinosaurs. It's fun to ride dinosaurs. And it's fun to, you know, attack dinosaurs. Not a big fan of the Titanoboas. They creep me out a lot, but
yes.
You know, it is fun. It's just
100%.
It's so repetitive though. And like one of the things I think with the end game is they disable some mechanics in, like, when you're trying to get to the end game, so you're collecting the artifacts. One issue that actually caused me and my buddy, we had put in like 150 hours on this one map on a server. We went in to go get an artifact, and they wouldn't let us use, like, our grappling gun in there. Instead, they wanted you to parkour around this lava pit on top of a dinosaur in a game that is so rubber bandy, it could be classified itself as a rubber band. And they expect you to do that. And, like, you can't use flyers in there. You can't use a grappling hook. You have to parkour when it's, like, every time you move 5 feet, you move back 3. And it's like, how? How do you expect me to do? Like, that's not fun. It's not fun for me as, you know, someone who's put hours into doing this. You know, I don't even know how many hours I put watching my little baby dinosaurs so they wouldn't die, making sure they had food. And then it's like, well, I can't even get to the boss fight because the mechanics for getting the artifacts are just awful. Like, everything else is fun in its own way, but the mechanics are bad, and it's way too, like you said, it's repetitive.
That's why they're bringing Vin Diesel in there to save the day.
Oh God! Oh God!
He looks
super,
go ahead, Daniel.
Super good in it though. His like, if you look at the like graphics in the trailer, and granted they're probably cutscenes, but it looks really good.
Well, they said that they used game engine, like the game engine components to render that. You know, but realistically in Ark, nobody's going to make their character look like that. Instead, you're going to be some disgustingly deformed, like, I've got shoulders that go up to here, tiny arms.
Wait till you hear about the character creation in Cyberpunk, because you're going to laugh your fucking ass off.
Oh, I can't wait.
I'm sure it's just as broken as it is in literally any other sandbox game.
It's perfect.
Is it really?
It's so great.
Oh,
Not
man.
Mark II, Ark 2. How is that? What is a Vin Diesel Mark 2?
Jesus, I thought Mark 1
is it
Vin
a
Diesel
robot?
he was already enough.
Okay, so I'm going to screen share real quick just so we can kind of check out this character model.
Yeah, let's just watch it real quick.
So that's what the character model looks like in the new game.
It's pretty solid.
Well, he's got a little headband in mine.
Yeah. So it kind of goes on to talk about, like, the CEO of Wildcard and his opinion on how all of it's going to work within incorporating him into the game. And as far as some of the just base mechanics go, from what I can tell, I haven't really had a chance to read it yet. I've just only had a chance to skim through it.
That'd be
but then we can go to our...
If you, like, go to the actual trailer.
Yep.
Yeah. We heard what the fans wanted. We listened to the community, so we brought Vin Diesel in. I'm sorry, you what?
What?
Stupid ads.
Classic YouTube. Thanks for the double ads, YouTube. Really appreciate that.
Pay for this. Ooh.
Oh wow, they put his voice in there and everything too.
I wonder if the kid's name's. I wonder what the kid's name is.
Is that what
that'd
you're
be interesting.
concerned about?
Paulina for his best buddy. That would be. That would be a good way to pay homage.
I mean, it looks good.
Oh, Ark looks fine.
It looks interesting.
Also, one thing I want to say is, why are there orcs? That is not any. Where did they come from? There's orcs?
Make orcs. Haven't you ever seen Lord of the Rings?
Yeah, but I mean, with Ark's story, that's just kind of weird. I guess, like, if the survivor's DNA got corrupted, it could do something like that. Maybe, but... Which I'm sure that's how they'll spin it, is some type of corrupted DNA. But
To me, they sound and look almost more like an evolved form of cannibals.
hell yeah, I could see it.
Come on, Vin Diesel, get to stabbing.
Come on, pull out your T-Rex that you have in your pocket Pokeball. Man, imagine if I was playing on a server with Vin Diesel and I didn't even know it.
You really think he's gonna play this game?
It said he's a dedicated game with over thousands of hours in Ark. In that article.
So you find the time in a pandemic.
Well, okay, so that looks like a Uranus, but it might be a T-Rex. I don't know. I think it's a Udi.
Oh.
Yeah, no, let me just... Oh, Jesus.
Fatality.
Yeah, let me just stand and scream at the thing that's gonna eat me instead of turning around and running, because that makes legitimate sense.
That's a classic defense mechanism.
To do with bears.
See, one thing that I think the trailer is severely lacking is the high-level players griefing all of the low-level players because they think it's funny. That's kind of how Ark works, you know? You start into a new server, you're on PvP, somebody brings their level 300 plus dragon in to come and just constantly kill you. It's, you know, I don't make the rules. I just write them up and I propose them to a court of law.
Well, they don't do, like, servers based on levels.
No, you can just join a server.
No, it's literally
Rude.
time-based.
It's fun, though. It's still fun. I don't know. I always did PvE because I like building. I mean, it is what it is. Oh, yeah, you messed up, bud. You should probably be running.
This thing is not, like, killing to feed. This thing is legitimately just killing for the sake of killing.
Yeah, that's all Ark is. Dinosaurs just hate you.
The blood splatter, though.
It looks
Yeah.
so... The blood splatter does look bad, but...
Looks dumb.
Alright. So I don't think we'll go through this entire video. If you guys do want to check out the rest of this video, you guys can look it up on YouTube. But,
Yep.
I mean, so far, I'm a little... I'll admit I'm a little lost.
Yeah, I don't know what that... I don't know what's going on.
I'm not... And maybe there's some context that came along... Because that looked like that premiered at the VGAs, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
correct?
no,
Yeah, it did.
It did.
Okay, so then there's probably some context that comes along with that release that
It says
you would get from watching the VGA release.
Vin Diesel stars as the lead, so you can control him while taking on monsters and dinosaurs. He'll be...
Oh, so there's an actual campaign in this one.
Yeah, he'll even be in the new animated series set in the games.
Yeah. I know
Fantastical.
apparently the Ark
they're
lore
making
is
a
amazing.
series.
The Ark lore I've heard is absolutely amazing, and the story that it tells is phenomenal. And it's like, it ends up being a really cool concept, but I think it'll be fun. I'll play it. We'll see how it goes and go from there.
I will probably do the same thing that I'm doing with Cyberpunk 2077, and that is I'm just going to kind of sit on it and watch a little bit of the gameplay, sort of get an idea for what it is exactly that I'm going to be getting myself into. Because to be honest, and the fact that the new video game prices are going to be going up shortly.
Well, Liv said she bought me it for like, she could be lying, but she said she bought me it for like $40.
Maybe on like a pre-order from
I got
Black Friday or something like that. But it's $60. Well, you have the disc. That's probably why.
It's a digital download.
Oh, it is a digital
GOG.
download.
Wild.
Yeah, it's just a GOG code, and I get some cool stickers and.
Nice. Well, there you go, everybody. If you're interested, just go ahead and check out that bundle. See if you guys can't figure that out.
Yeah.
But just to finish up what I was saying, and then we can move into transitions are fun, right?
Yep.
Finish up what I was saying. I'm probably just going to sit on the game, watch some gameplay footage, make sure that it's something that I want to pay $60 for, because I was unaware of this bundle beforehand. But on Steam currently, right now, the game is going for $59.99 plus tax, so it'll probably be sitting somewhere around $61 or $62. But before I sink that kind of money into it, I do this with most video games. I really want to make sure that this is a game that I want to play. You know, I mean, there are tons and tons of sandbox games out there that exist in the video game world, the video game universe. It's got to be something special in order for me to really like want to get into it and play it, because I've played a lot of sandbox games. I mean, you've got Skyrim, you've got GTA, you've got some of those big MMORPGs like Elder Scrolls Online and Dark Souls and all these other games out there. What really sets this game apart from everything else? Like, what makes this game unique? That's what I look for when it comes to a sandbox game. But Danielle, you are the one that has been playing, so why don't you give us a little bit in?
Also, I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna fill up my water.
You know what it was, Alex? It was a buy two get one free. So she bought a game for JP, and then it was a Target deal.
Okay.
So she probably got it for like a discounted price doing that.
Makes sense.
Because I'm pretty sure Animal Crossing is still like $60.
Well, Steam pretty much holds their game price value for, you know, as high as they can get it for as long as they can keep it. I mean, for God's sakes, Black Ops 2 is still $60 on Steam. Like, that's ridiculous. That game came out in what, 2008, 2009?
And it's stupid they put out more with the same price.
Exactly.
Stupid.
Like, so you pretty much have to pay. Now, albeit during their Black Friday sales, they discounted literally the entire Call of Duty franchise, which was super cool.
Yeah, I think I bought some things for that.
I just downloaded Dark Souls. I downloaded Dark Souls and the 2 DLCs for it, and I have been infatuated with that game for the last month.
Dark Souls is like my jam. I played it.
It's so much fun. It's so stupid fun.
You're playing the third one then, right?
Yes, I am playing Dark Souls 3. I played Dark Souls 2 on the PlayStation 3.
Yeah. Sorry.
I hated it. Hated every second of it.
Well, there's
There's
not really a story with that one.
No. And Lord knows
hard.
that I jumped. So you're in the beginning of the game, correct? You get through the tutorial, whatever, you beat the boss. And then you go through the little caverns where there's like 4 different ways to get out of the caverns. And then you can either go up this ladder and fight this monster standing next to a tree and take his sword, or you can just run by him and go to the next area where literally every enemy is 50 or above, and you're level 4, and you're just going to get your shit kicked in every time you go up there and try and get your souls back, no matter how many souls you picked up. Yeah, I immediately lost interest in that game.
It's unforgiving, that's for sure.
It is incredibly unforgiving. But I feel like that's what makes the Dark Souls games so unique in the MMO sort of style sandbox type games, is that, you know, that the developers will not hold your hand. It is one of those games where your hand does not get held.
And it's going to continue to be that way just because they're known for that.
Well, and unfortunately, after the release of Dark Souls 3, they said that they were not going to be releasing another Dark Souls game in that series. But since then, they've also came out with Bloodborne.
Yeah.
And they have also come out with the new Demon's Souls remake for the PlayStation 5, which I have heard is very good. I have not gotten a chance to play it yet. I do not own the PlayStation 5, nor do I think I'll be buying it, to be honest.
Don't. I'm hearing so many people like trying to get rid of theirs now.
Well, it sounds like such a waste to me. Like you pay $500 for something that can only game in 1440p at 60 frames per second. Like my PC can run 1440 frames, 1440p, 60 frames a second.
The reason that happened is because they just need to release a console every fucking Christmas. That's the only reason that happened.
Well, they're trying to drive the market forward. I mean, consoles are slowly but surely losing out to PC because more. I mean, I was reading a statistic the other day. PC gaming in the United States, even just in North America, so that includes Canada as well, is at the highest that it is ever been at, and it is just increasing exponentially. I mean, you're talking, the graph started way down here, and then it has just made a linear curve all the way up, and it's just keep going up and up and up and up and up. And I feel like it's because people are realizing, like, price to performance wise, you're paying $500, $600, $700 for a console that can't do half of the things that a gaming PC that you could build or buy a pre-built for,
or just buy upgrades for, or you can switch out your graphics card for a lot cheaper.
You've got longevity, you've got higher frame rates, higher resolutions, you've got more capabilities for internet browsing and more available titles than either side, Microsoft or Sony, has. I mean, yeah, you're missing out on the exclusives that come out with them, but like, how many exclusives are out there that you're really missing that much? So you've got
later on they're just gonna release it anyway for PC.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, you've got Final Fantasy VII out right now, the remake. You've got the Demon Souls remake, which I mean, if you've played Dark Souls, it's literally cut copy paste of Dark Souls. It's just a little bit better graphics and a different storyline, but other than that, how many other games that are out there that are unique to console are you really desperate enough to spend that much money just to get your hands on that game? Like, it's not there anymore. The allure of the console is not there anymore. It's kind of a dying breed, unfortunately. I wish that wasn't the case, but
they got a long way to go. Well, it's still going to be big no matter what. That's why the Switch is so big, is you can do so much and take it with you.
Yep. Well, and that's yep.
I wish there was another PSP.
No, I was just green. That's all.
Oh, okay. But yeah, I feel like that's where the Switch kind of jumps in, is like it's got that extra allure of being portable. Like, it's something that the other consoles haven't done. Sony, Microsoft, you guys are watching.
There's good games on it. Like, you're not missing out on the.
I mean, games. You've got Doom Eternal, and then of course you've got all the exclusives that come with the Switch, like all of the Nintendo exclusives that you cannot get on anything else, unless you download an emulator for your PC and buy some janky ripoff of the game that sucks ass. But yeah, been there, done that. Sorry, that's experience talking. A little salty, but
it happens.
I'm over it. All right, so what do we got for our next topic of discussion?
So
you want to go into Cyberpunk?
Yeah, Danny, you want to go ahead, break down some Cyberpunk for us? Our resident Cyberpunk expert here, Chicky Nugs.
Not really. Well, it starts off with some amazing character creation, and you can do everything. I mean, I don't know if you've looked at some of the characters. You can add like the cyber scars, which are like, they look like embedding of.
Yeah, almost like an android, like.
Yeah. Nice. Where it's like on your credit. You can put like a credit card label on your fucking character, and you can put a barcode on their forehead and stuff like that. But also, what I think you guys will be more interested in is you can pick your penis size.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
A big floppy dick, and it doesn't. I don't know how big is big, but it doesn't look too big to me.
I mean, I've planned it out. When I get the game, my first playthrough is going to be a corporate guy with a micro penis who thought that the corporate lifestyle would make up for his micro penis, but it ends up just leading him to a life of crime, because he's still unhappy.
Well, and that's what I kind of liked about it, is there's 3 different directions you can go, so there's like a lot of replayability. Once you can... Well, yeah, you can also pick your vagina as well, in case you really want to know that.
Size?
But I figured since genital size and shape was already a thing, that it was probably universal for both sides.
And
Makes
you don't
sense.
have to have nipples. You don't have to if you don't
Perfect.
want to. And
Fuck me, Tom.
you can pick your pubic hair and your tattoos
Wow,
and
they really went in depth with this game, didn't they?
They just don't
Yeah.
miss. I mean,
there's like 60 different types of pubic hair. It's amazing. And
man.
once
This is
you
news to me.
well, I kind of clicked through because like for a long time I was trying to pick my hair and I like turn over and her tits are on my screen. I'm just like, I gotta hurry up. I gotta pick what I need to do so these tits get off my screen before Liv
Gonna
comes
get
upstairs
demonetized
and
here.
is like, what the fuck is going on? What are you looking at?
I'm
Yeah,
just
fair.
gonna make a Ron Jeremy looking character, just massive frickin' schlong, skinny as shit, big old mustache, curly hair, the whole 9 yards, and I'm just gonna run around without a shirt and my dick out the entire time.
Hell
You
yeah.
Just
can't do
friggin'
that.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
you
Well,
can-
what's the point of making your dick size if you can't frickin' show it off? Like, what the hell?
Maybe down the line it comes up. I don't know. I haven't gotten that far.
There's probably
Because-
some sex scenes in there, something like that, where your genital size and
there's-
look actually comes into play.
There's this club you go to, and it's got this thing called the brain dance, which I feel like is pretty innovative. So you don't have to. It's probably work these days. You don't have to pay a stripper. You can just make a simulation. Someone puts a headset on, and there's their brain dance, and you can put like any type of scenario in there that you want.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah,
This,
so-
it's definitely different than a lot of other games that I've heard of, especially with the
Well-
character customization already.
Being that it's like CD Projekt Red, of course you're gonna like have missions you can do right away and then missions you don't like want to do right away or you're not high enough level. That's kind of frustrating. It's very slow paced. Like I think they just kind of want you to travel and walk around and you can drive. I suck at driving.
Is it a lot like the GTA driving?
Yeah, but you can go like first it starts you off first person in the driving seat and like
Yikes.
I was like driving for a little bit and I'm like I gotta be able to change this view, so I like changed it real quick and I ran over like a bunch of people and the cops do come after you. I haven't had them like I'm playing on hard and I mean I got stuck at a few like little battle scenes, but the guns are good. The outfits are weird because like you want your armor to be high, but then you're wearing like a bag on your fucking head, or like these skimpy
Classic.
little short shorts. These skimpy little pink short shorts are like armor 16.9, and my huge army pants are like 1.
Nice.
You want me to wear some skimpy short shorts and run around with a pistol?
I feel like just given from the character customization alone that they are marketing the game, the character creation, and the overall like aesthetics of your character's cosmetics, like that, just the aesthetic they're going for is obviously a very mature audience first and foremost, but
Oh yeah.
they're definitely playing into sort of, I feel like, societal standards even nowadays. Like they're sort of reinforcing those like cultural standards that exist in just in perfect example, just in the United States.
That's what the game's kind of more about too, actually, is you're trying to take down this like corporation. I think you can pick like 3 different types of characters and you can follow a different storyline of how you get to where you're at.
Yeah.
I think you can just the first 3, like one's like a grew up on the streets, one's like started from something, went to nothing, and one's a corporate one. And that's the one I picked.
Okay.
Corpo, because I didn't think many people would choose it, but I've been watching a lot of gameplays and they've all picked that one for some reason. I don't know.
Nice.
But you basically start at the top of a business, you're trying to infiltrate it, and then they catch you, and then they just strip you of all all your titles, and then you end up on the streets working for some drug pushers and stuff like that.
Dang.
Okay, so it's sort of everybody's got their own unique backstory, but they all wind up in the same spot at the beginning of the game.
You can pick your own backstory. I don't know if it ends up at the same spot. I'm just kind of guessing.
Yeah, I've heard that a lot of basically with the 3 different pathways, it changes the beginning and it changes how the game evolves around you.
Okay.
That's what I've read online. So I think that's a pretty cool idea. But one thing actually I wanted to ask about is, how do you feel about the combat? Because I haven't heard much about the combat. I've heard people are worried about the combat, and that's about it. Is the combat very involved? Is it?
But so like in Red Dead, you know how they had like the dead eye, and you can like latch onto somebody's head and like constantly shoot. Well, because you start out with a pistol and you can't have anything more than like a pistol or AR. They won't let me use a sniper right away. But there's also something you can gain with special guns, and you can have the bullets ricochet and hit somebody. So like if you're trying to, it's really stealth. I suck at stealth, but you could shoot a wall, have the bullet hit the wall, and then hit the person in the head.
Oh, nice.
Interesting.
And there's not a whole lot of like recoil with the guns, which I like because I suck at shooting, but there's this thing called overheating. So your environment's gonna like affect the way because you're a robot essentially.
Yeah.
So like sensors can hack you, and if you use up too much of I don't even know why I'm overheating half the time. Because I'm like shooting people, and then I'm like, shit, I'm overheating, and then it takes down your health level. So I don't know if something around me is hacking me. So you kind of really have to be stealthy and take down like the cameras around you, the sensors around you, stuff like that.
I mean, that does kind of make a lot of sense as far as like the base character model goes, and sort of incorporating that mechanic. It does make sense for being an android, like that mechanic.
Yeah.
At least to me, it makes sense.
And you can upgrade yourself. Like throughout the game, there's these doctors called Ripper Doctors, and you can install like I lost my thought because Liv was talking, but
Ripper Doctors.
Yeah, Ripper Doctors, and you can install little upgrades within your hardware.
Oh, nice.
And stuff like that. You pay for them though. So.
Makes sense.
It kind of sounds like the mod shop in GTA a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and speaking of GTA, I have a GTA map, but the one that Liv bought me came with like a huge ass map, and you can see how big
Holy
the
cow.
map itself is. But,
is this from GTA or from?
No, this is Cyberpunk. That's how big the map is.
Interesting.
Wow.
It's called Night City.
Nice.
So it doesn't look incredibly large. Like it doesn't look like it has the same depth as like Red Dead or GTA.
I feel like it does, but there's so many buildings and stuff you can interact with. Like you can literally interact with everything around you.
Oh wow!
Which is something I feel like Rockstar kind of had to take shortcuts with on GTA because of just how massive the map was.
Mm-hmm.
Like it makes a lot of sense. Like you can only interact with certain buildings in GTA, but with a map that's a little smaller, you can really sort of diversify the interior and really make the game a little bit more immersive as far as living in the city.
Beautiful though. Like the neon colors are so cool. Like I love that.
I want to play it.
I was gonna say, just talking about it now, I'm sort of leaning towards picking it up.
See,
to be 100% honest.
I want to wait. I feel like I should upgrade my PC so I can actually play it at like high specs. That's the thing is, I want to play it, but I want to play at high specs.
See, I feel like I should play it off stream and record it like you do, because if I turn it all the way up, it lags on the stream, but it has never. If I turn it down to, I think I had it at 120 frames per second, and then everything at ultra, it was fine.
Damn.
And 120 isn't bad, but it goes all the way up to 224.
Jesus.
Yeah. 224 frames per second.
I mean, you gotta have some serious freaking hardware to run that.
Yeah.
It ran for me at first. That's what it defaults at.
Jesus.
Well, I think it's just because everyone's assuming, oh, everybody's got the 3080 or the 3090 and the,
Even they can't
like a
find
high
them.
level Intel graphics card. Yeah, mine is. Yeah,
There's
exactly.
there's a
You can't
tracing.
find any of
You
them.
can do the tracing too. So like you
Right?
can
Oh.
bump that. You can bump that all the way up,
Damn.
Damn.
That sounds like,
and
God,
it looks so cool.
Yeah, oh, I have no doubt. I mean, just something as simple as Minecraft with ray tracing
Oh,
looks fucking
God.
phenomenal.
that
But
That is-
a game like Cyberpunk, where the graphics are that in detail, and then you add ray tracing and add that extra level of depth, yeah, that sounds phenomenal. I mean, I don't have the hardware capable of running that, but
And with my curved
Yep.
monitor, like you can bump all that up and change your field of view to like match your. Oh, hi, Sufi. Change your field of view to match that. It looks amazing.
Yeah,
Turn all your lights off and
just embrace the neon.
get lost.
So, speaking of sandbox-esque, I guess I won't. It's not a good. Yeah, transitions are fun, right? So that MMO
That's fine.
Vindictus, it is very interesting. I almost kind of want. So, Vindictus has been around since 2010. It is a very old MMO, and understandably so, I have some criticisms about it. But before we do that, I want to show you guys a trailer of the game.
Okay, because I was just
real
looking at
quick,
that.
so you guys can see a little bit of the gameplay.
Yeah.
The combat, I will say, is phenomenal.
See something?
It's not the enemies aren't as difficult in the beginning of the game, but it is the combat is very, very good.
Can
will say
I
that much.
take a short break real quick because I gotta help her find something.
Yeah, absolutely. I will get this set up and then we can take a short little intermission. I will say that my system is not the lowest of specs. I mean, it's Ryzen 3600 processor. I made the mistake of crossing NVIDIA with AMD CPU. So, my bad on that one. But NVIDIA 2060 Gaming OC, like, B450 platform, it's like I don't have that low end of a PC. Like, it's a pretty average mid-range PC for the most part. But if there was one thing, obviously, that I would change, it would be not running NVIDIA graphics with an AMD processor. That was a mistake.
Well, what would you have done? Would you went with AMD?
Oh, I would have gone 5800 XT. Just because AMD is a more Bixby, go away. Why are you activating right now? I gotta turn that shit off.
Bixby.
Yeah, no, that's the new what do you call it? The new AI for Android phones.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
He is a massive pain in the ass. Makes it so I can't turn my phone off when I want to. He randomly just turns on, as he just did, and starts picking up and listening to my voice, and it's just like, no, fuck off, you bastard. I don't need to listen to you. You don't need to be listening to me right now. I'm talking to my friends.
China's watching you.
But no, so I probably would have gone AMD just sheerly for the price to performance. I mean, if when I eventually do upgrade my PC to a higher end, I feel like I'll switch over to Intel. And that'll involve new motherboard. It'll involve new CPU. It'll involve new graphics card, new RAM, because the RAM that I have is specifically designed to run with AMD. It's by HyperX also. Rocking the HyperX headphones here. Never had any problems with their products, but so anyways, to get back into Vindictus real quick, I've got the trailer pulled up here. You guys ready to watch?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Let's watch it. This is the trailer for the newest character that they just released into the game. His name's Kale.
Oh, sir.
And it kind of goes through and shows a little bit of the combat mechanics, as well as sort of the art style of the game, too. It's very anime-esque. It's very Phantasy Star Online, very like Final Fantasy 14-esque, if you will.
Dig it.
왕실근위대의 명예로운 기사로서 왕국의 빛나는 검이 될 것을 서약합니다. 나의 신념, 날카로운 창이 되어
I did not realize this was the Japanese. This wasn't the
Didn't
American
even
release. This was the
translate.
Japanese release.
Really trying to broaden our audience.
You know. Oh, it looks cool though.
Yeah, it definitely looks like it'd be fun.
운명을 가르는 고귀한 선택. 카이.
All right.
Damn.
So just real quick, I'll pause it at this screen. So all of these characters that you're seeing on the screen here are all playable characters within Vindictus. They are all gender locked. So every character that you pick, you know, I mean, if you pick this guy right here, I'm drawing a blank on his name. I think his name is Herc. It's either he is Herc or he is Herc. I think this is the assassin character. I think this guy is Herc. So with the exception of the new characters, each character has the availability of using 2 different weapons arts. And I mean, they are as diverse as chain blades and short swords, twin swords, to Kale's long spear or long sword, spear sword, if whatever that is. I forget what the exact name of it is. All the way to this character in the middle actually is the character that I picked for my playthrough with mana revolvers. So she's rocking dual pistol, and she's a void jumper, so she can teleport behind enemies. She can, I mean, there's just so many really just awesome combat mechanics within the game, and like I said, each character has 2 different weapon arts, with the exception of the 5 new characters that they've added since the game's release in 2010. You know, the storyline is sort of present. It's a non-vocalized, dialogue-based storyline, so you know you don't get a lot of talking in the game. There is a lot of text to go through, and it can be very overwhelming. But I mean, then you've got this guy, and I shit you not, the name of his weapon, his main weapon, is called a battle pillar.
Jesus.
It is literally a ginormous freaking thick boy staff that he just runs around and smashes face with. Like it's definitely, it looks interesting. I'd be very curious to try it out. I haven't gotten a chance to yet, but yeah, it's a very, very diverse character game. Wish that the characters weren't gender locked. I wish that you had that sort of added level of customization to it. But I mean, you pick hairstyles, you can pick body types, you can pick skin tone, eye color. Also, another just added random note, the jiggle mechanics in this game are fucking hilarious.
Oh, God.
Especially because we're talking, like, anime titties. So just massive tits, and it's just... like, it's literally like shaking a plate full of Jell-O. Like, you made Jell-O in a bowl, you flipped it upside down on the plate, and you're just sitting there just shaking it back and forth. That's what the jiggle mechanics in this game are.
That's hilarious.
It is ridiculously hilarious. It's so fun. But, I don't know. Base combat overall, super fun. Storyline, sort of monotonous. Gameplay, sort of the same until you get through the main storyline, and then you start to get into like the actual open world mechanics of the game, where you fight, you know, big dungeon bosses. You're at a higher level. You have more armor styles, more cosmetic outfits, more dyes that you can access for your character. You have different weapons. As I said, you know, some of the characters have 2 different kinds of weapons. Some of them don't. Some of them only have just the one. But you get different styles. You get, I mean, there's just there is a lot of depth to the game. Also, this game is free.
Oh, nice. That's
this
a big
game
positive.
is free, and none of the DLC for this game that has come out in the last couple of years is paid DLC.
Damn.
Every update that this game has gotten has been 100% free for the community, which I think is really cool.
Pretty cool.
I think it is really cool, especially given the microtransaction culture that we live in nowadays. Like,
Yep.
oh, here, we're going to give you this free game, but then we're going to nickel and dime you along the road for cosmetics and added, storylines and stuff like that. And it's like, you're like, yes, I understand capitalism and, it not really being corporate greed, just more or less being able to capitalize on a particular community, like a particular community's interest in the game. But even to that extent, it's almost like every single game that comes out has microtransactions nowadays. It's really refreshing to see a game that's been out for this long that doesn't involve microtransactions, at least to the extent of the added content for the game. I mean, obviously, there's paid, like you can buy different hairstyles, you can buy different, dyes and extra added cosmetics that go over armor, just like, it doesn't really, it keeps the stats of the armor, but just gives it a different look. Doesn't actually change anything about the character or anything like that. But yeah, all in all, not a terrible game.
Nice.
I was pleasantly surprised.
Seems
All right,
pretty
Zach,
fun.
it's your turn.
We talking about Minecraft here?
Yeah, we're talking about Minecraft.
We might have touched on it.
About Minecraft.
We touched on it a little bit earlier, but they actually released a Windows 10 version ray tracing update. I think it's in its beta now, which I think will be huge because that's one of the things, like, personally, that I think for the PS5, if you can have a $500 console that can do ray tracing, which they say it's capable of, that's maybe one side where I could see it. It's a good thing. And I think for Minecraft, like we were talking about earlier, Minecraft ray tracing changes the game.
Does
it completely.
No, it legitimately does, especially like, and Zach and I were kind of talking about this a little bit earlier. I'm not sure if it'll be in the video, so it's probably off camera, but when you're talking about adding like the brilliant HD texture packs that are available for the game that already make the game look realistic enough, and then you add ray tracing on top of that, it just adds that extra level of depth to the game, that sort of realism to the game that really brings you further into the immersion, at least in my opinion.
See like a freaking side to side of what it does, because I'm
The ray tracing?
familiar with ray tracing in general, but not like with Minecraft. I really don't know what that would do to it.
So, and you'll see it in the comparison, but bottom line is it makes shadows and light
Okay,
a lot
so
more
yeah,
realistic.
the lights coming through the trees, the water. Okay.
Yep. So it just adds those little extra little details that you wouldn't normally think about paying attention to in the base game or in the Bedrock game. But then, like I said, you add like an HD texture pack along with the ray tracing, or even just the ray tracing in and of itself, and it adds that little extra bit of immersion to the game.
Yeah, I think it'll be a lot of fun to do once it's finally available for everybody.
Oh yeah.
With the buildings, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it really brightens up the Bedrock version of the game. Like if you don't have those texture packs, like it really just it does wonders, and it does a lot. I like it.
Yeah.
Oh
Overall,
goodness.
I think it's pretty sound. So I think we can throw it back to you, Alex, for Warframe. Your current thoughts on?
Oh boy.
Recent
All right,
updates
so Warframe is a game that I have struggled with playing consistently for quite a long time. It's a very unique game in the sense of it is a lot like Vindictus. It is a lot like your typical MMOs where you get those the levels of different warframes and different weapons and the ability to customize and really fit your frame to your play style. With the newest update, the House of Glass is back once again, and if you guys are unfamiliar with the House of Glass is sort of this secretive occult type NPC within the game that comes along with the Nightwave missions from your orbiter. and you're going through and you're essentially becoming a detective and trying to solve these quote unquote crimes against the Grenier or against the Corpus, which are your two sort of base level enemies in the game. After that, you move into the Infected and the I'm drawing a blank on the name. The Cephalons. Cephalons are another big enemy in that game. It, like I said, I'm not 100% an expert on the game, but just my overall opinion of it has sort of changed since the last time that I played it. I just re-downloaded it for the first time in probably a good 4 or 5 months last night, and got to playing a little bit into it. I didn't really get too far, but the mechanics in the game have changed, which is really interesting because the combat mechanics are no longer the same as what I remember playing at when I first started. And then along with that, you have new menu styles in the sense of post missions. There are new mission types, which is really cool. So it sort of breaks the monotony of what the Bedrock game was, which, and I cannot stress this enough. Warframe is one of those MMOs that if you play it for long enough, it will become monotonous within the first, couple of playthroughs. But once you sort of break past the early game, and by early game, I literally mean the entirety of the main campaign through the initial star system. Once you get into working in the Void more and going to I'm drawing a blank on the name of the ship. There is a system outside of the base game that you can go into where you fight these enemies that are on a completely different level than what you are in the base game. And that's where you sort of learn about your true purpose as the character. I don't know how much I necessarily want to spoil for those of you who maybe have never heard of Warframe or are just starting to get into it and you don't want the spoilers. So I won't get too in-depth with the post game, but it can be very monotonous in the original as far as farming frames, farming items and credits and all this other stuff, so that way you can really progress through the story a little bit more quickly. But again, with this new update, it has brought a different level to the game, sort of a different aesthetic that I feel was necessary in order to keep the franchise alive. I mean, even for a free game. I mean, I understand that there's not really a whole lot of franchise there to keep alive, but again, we're going into this game where there's a lot of microtransactions. You're talking about buying platinum, you're talking about buying Tenogen, you're
buying like skins and armor and
Yep, and
all the updates.
Unfortunately, it is one of those games. It is not like Vindictus. If you want to progress quickly, then sometimes, if you really, really want to get through it that bad, then you will have to spend actual currency, actual cash in order to progress. Because that is something unique to Warframe that not a lot of other MMOs offer. Especially my particular one that comes to mind is World of Warcraft, where yes, you can buy and sell items with other players for gold and silver and whatnot, but with Warframe, you have the ability to buy components that are necessary for building different frames and for building different items and for, building companions and so on and so forth that you could harvest in the game, theoretically, but you also have the option to purchase them with platinum to sort of speed the progress along in the game.
You don't think they could have done that and did what, put a marketplace in it? Like Escape from Tarkov.
Yes.
You have your marketplace and you have your user marketplace. You can't do both?
Well, so there is actually a user marketplace within the game. It's called Maru's Bazaar. It's located in the outside of the Mars planet in the base game system. And
you don't have to purchase stuff with real
money.
Well,
it's trading.
Yeah.
And a lot of people that have been playing Warframe for a while, what they'll do is they'll go out and they'll harvest these parts, these blueprints, systems, neuroptics, like different frames, different weapons, different mods that you can only get late game. and then they'll bring them back to Maru's Bazaar, and they'll sell them for platinum so they can buy different cosmetics for the frames that they already have.
Which is a better idea than making it all you have to buy it. At
the same time, too, that is sort of a capitalistic environment, like a capitalistic economy that they bring into the game, which I think is really, really cool. Because much like World of Warcraft, it does sort of add that extra level of depth to your immersion as far as your character goes, because that's like something you could become. That's a
trader.
You could become a trader or a salesman. You could become almost like a parts bounty hunter, where you go out and people pay you in advance, and you go out and you find these parts for them, and then you come back and you deliver it to them. Which, by the way, there are multiple different ways of getting these items as far as trading goes. Maru's Bazaar is not the only way to do it. You are join dojos, because essentially the idea behind the Warframe is that you're basically a space ninja. Like that's kind of the idea behind it.
You got a giant katana.
Exactly. Especially if you start out with the basic bitch frame that everyone starts out with, and that's not my phrase. That is literally what the community calls this frame, because it is the most basic of all frames.
And here I am, frame. I'm sitting in one of those right now, probably on my account.
Yeah, I haven't played that in years.
It's been a long time. I can tell you, I just got back into the game last night, and I am starting to fall in love with the game again.
Yeah.
Like it is actually an enjoyable game. The monotony is nice to break every once in a while, so I feel like that's kind of going to stay consistent. I will most definitely be taking a break from the game probably very soon.
Yeah,
but it's going to stay around. Like like I'll get into it. I'll put another 9-10 hours worth of gameplay into it, get a little bit farther, take a break, sort of go back and play these other games that I have downloaded on my PC. I still have to make another playthrough of Little Hope from the Dark Pictures anthology, and that, let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, if you have not played that game, and you're into horror games, and you're into Telltale games, and you like to be on the edge of your seat for the duration of a game,
you want to play with a person that doesn't know how to do QuickTime events.
Exactly. That's a jab at me, and I will take that. But yeah, so with the new update that came along with Warframe, I do think it makes a difference in the game. I do think that it is a great, step forward in keeping the franchise alive as far as listening to the community goes with fixing bugs and adding different levels to the game. And I do think that is still a very relevant game in 2020. Vindictus, unfortunately, just purely for early game combat purposes, I'm going to have to say is less relevant than Warframe as an MMO goes. Not to say it's entirely irrelevant in general, but there is a certain lack of depth in the early game that I think is a really big turnoff for new players. So, and then that's where I'll leave that. I don't, like I said, I don't want to get too deep into Warframe because there are a lot of new updates that are out there, and for those of you that haven't played it, don't want any spoilers. So
that's true.
I'll just leave it at that.
All right. So with that, guys, we covered all the topics today.
Sweet.
So I
feel like that took a little bit longer than an hour.
It's like an hour, 20 minutes.
Yeah, so that's not bad. So overall, guys, I think that's a good first episode. So everybody that watched this, thank you from all of us. I think that is pretty awesome.
Yeah, make sure you guys go check out all of our Twitch pages. We'll put links in the description below.
Check it out.
If you guys enjoyed this content and you want to continue to see more of it in the future, you guys are more than welcome to get a hold of me on my social medias. I don't know. We actually haven't really discussed that, actually. You guys have anything out there where people can get a hold of you and sort of make suggestions or give us any kind of comments, concerns, questions, so on and so forth?
Yeah, I got a Twitter at Warbird987. So if you guys want to send your stuff in the Discord, I can put it all down in the description for the video.
I don't know if I want to put my Twitter down there.
Well, mine's I have a specific one for Warbird. Yeah. So if you guys want to send me those, we can put those in there.
Stacy's dad is my Twitter. Stacy's _dad.
Yeah, right. And you guys can get a hold of me on my Twitter at @sneaky_mans. You guys are also more than welcome to follow me on my Instagram at rosenthal.alex94.
All right, perfect. All right, guys. So thank you everybody for tuning in. All right, we'll see you guys next week.
Enjoy the start to your week, everybody.
Hell yeah. Check out our episode 2 next week. Second breakfast. Adios.
But what about second breakfast?